Jenkins is a well-known tool used for CI/CD pipelines. Various applications are being used now for running CI/CD pipeline, such as Azure Pipeline, GitLab, GitHub Actions, and many more. Jenkins has its own benefits such as open source and extensibility, ease of installation and use, and automation and rapid testing, customizable pipelines, and many more. Here we will discuss about Jenkins and its security towards running a pipeline. So watch the video till the end.
The main reason of the Jenkins is creating the build, but creating the build securely. One aspect of the Jenkins is security. People who will be managing the pipeline, several people will be there who will be managing the pipeline. It's not just only you. Let's say there are 10 members of the DevOps, but I want the control on the build only to 2-3 members who is managing that particular portion. Also, I'm not trying to expose that particular build process to the outer world. What do you mean by outer world? That I might have compliance requirement, that my organization would like to store that particular build in their local environment. Or they would like to have a standard that, okay, this build version, we are going to keep on that particular Jenkins machine only, and we are not going to use anything which is coming onto the internet, so that if tomorrow that particular version is getting updated, I should not be worrying about upgrading or maintaining any particular changes to that particular build within my organization. Have you noticed, guys, in those kind of a thing in the project, let's say I'm using Windows build, or let's say any self-hosted machine, and Microsoft says that we are retiring this particular build. What happened at that point of time? Your entire project team has to leave whatever they are doing, and they need to concentrate on the upgrade process, right? Because this particular section is going to retire. This happens, guys. Have you often heard that for another 1 week, we will not going to proceed with any particular code development and nothing. Please go ahead and focus on this upgrade. This kind of a thing happens, right? Doesn't matter whether you're about to hit the project deadline or something, because this is important. Otherwise, none of the things will work after a certain duration of the time, or you may have the code or runtime related issues. Yeah, your development team come up with a very high sense of the urgency that this we have to upgrade. Now, why this kind of a problem happened? Because in the very beginning that you have not maintained the standard that what should we will be using, or let's say if anything that we are publishing in the form of the build and the artifact, that standard I'm going to reserve it in my own environment. Why? Because the moment you are dependent on Microsoft or any particular provider, if my provider making the changes, definitely you have to follow that. So one thing, security, that you would like to create that particular build integration in your own environment. You don't want to create it in the DevOps as a service environment. And the another thing what you would like to achieve it, that I'll go ahead and control it. I don't give that particular control to any other provider. I go ahead and bring it, that particular build, in my Jenkins tool. Another thing, guys, Jenkins is for Java-based project. Jenkins is not for your .NET-based requirements over here, because mostly organization who deals with the Java-based code lines, they will go ahead and use it. So guys, Jenkins is not the generalized tool. It's a specific requirement for those organizations. So if you see any particular organization is going with the Jenkins or jar file or any particular development over here, this is something which is a Java-based project they are working. Now, what we do in the Jenkins is nothing. It's a separate environment. It's a separate machine having a Linux-based operating system, and on top of it, a Jenkins application installed, pre-installed, guys. You don't have to install anything. The only thing that you need to do, that you should be exposing this application on a particular 8080 port, and you can access this particular application just like a web application, right? Any organization who create a website, right, that will be hosted on a VM, how you access that particular app's website? Through a URL or through a public IP. So what this particular Jenkins will have, either a public IP, just like I am connected to this particular machine via public IP, right? I'm taking an RDP on this particular machine, but this particular machine is over RDP, not over HTTP and HTTPS. If I need to access this machine over HTTP and HTTPS, what I will do, I will install IIS service on it, and then I should be able to target HTTP and HTTPS. Making sense, guys? Is this basic concept is pretty much clear to all? Why we required an IIS service? So that we can target this on World Wide Web, right? So that particular part is already there in your Jenkins machine. You don't have to pre-install this. You remember? Okay. And set of the functionality of the tool is already there with this particular machine. So you go ahead and target this particular machine via portal, and over there you will be able to see a Jenkins page where this particular tool functionality will be available. Now, while utilizing that particular tool, what you do, you go ahead and create a built where in Jenkins on this particular machine. And after creating that particular build, what you do, you connect that particular build over here in your pipeline. So where the build got created, guys? Inside your Jenkins machine. So the moment you will go ahead and integrate this, right? And how you will do the integration? Definitely your Jenkins will be having its own API token. And in Azure, we utilize the PAT token, right? And in order to create connectivity, you need to utilize a service hook that will require the public IP of this particular machine and on what particular port this machine can communicate with this particular pipeline. Making sense, guys? It's pretty straightforward, right? You don't need to think much on this one. It's just the thing, the way you utilize third-party tool integration, right? We have utilized Sonar Cloud, Sonar Queue. We required a PAT token over there in order to create connectivity. Then we required Sonar Queue access keys, right? So the way you interact with a third party, this is the same thing that what you are doing over here. The moment this interaction happens, right, and you are able to connect this and you required this public IP, okay? And after providing the public IP, you required that, the connection to be created, username and the password of the machine that you are using, right? Basically credentials, let's say, okay? And once you are able to integrate, right, that build that you have created, you can run that particular build directly over here. So basically, you are not controlling it anything from here. You are controlling through the Jenkins. Making sense? You are not controlling it from here. Now, how this particular repo code will be available in the Jenkins? Because definitely, guys, without the code, how you will go ahead and create that particular build? So that integration is also you will going to do by importing the entire repo through the cloning process. How you bring the entire code to your local machine, guys? Through the cloning process, isn't it? This is what you do. You selected the repo, you go ahead and clone, and you said that, okay, I'm going to utilize Visual Studio Code, and the entire code will be available in the local repo with the help of the Git, right? We utilize local Git in order to have it, right? In the Jenkins, it will directly ask that, okay, the moment you will going to provide the organization URL over here, right? The moment you will going to provide the organization URL, it will give you the list of the project. It will pick that particular project on which you need to create a build. Once the build will be ready, you will go ahead and create an API, and this is something that you don't need to deal with on daily basis. Once the connectivity has been created, that is fine. Just like your Sonar Cloud or Veracode or any third-party tool that you use, right? Once this particular connectivity will be created. So one thing what we need to keep in mind is what to import over here, right? In order to create a build. And once that particular build is ready inside your Jenkins, right? What you are operating with the help of that, you will create an API tool over here. And that API tool will help you integrating your pipeline, and from here you require a PAT token. That's it.
So guys, this was our expert from Team K21 Academy. And if you want to learn more about the concepts discussed in depth, then we have something really special for you. We have our free class on Microsoft Azure DevOps certification. Under this free class, you'll be learning about why to learn DevOps on Azure Cloud, what is DevOps, who should learn about it, some demo and a lot of hands-on and a lot more interesting stuff. So if you want to register for this free class, all you have to do is just log on to k21academy.com/AZ402, and after that you'll be seeing this kind of interface. You just have to click on book your free seat now and select any event date according to your availability. Add your name, your email number, your phone number, and click on book your free seat now, and you'll be seeing this kind of URL on the extreme right. Save that, add it to your calendars, and I'll see you in the free class. Till then, keep learning.